Good afternoon. Happy Friday. I hope your week is winding down and you finished everything that you set out to do this week. It always feels so good to get to Friday and know that I have accomplished what I set out to do, like launch a book, grow my subscribers on YouTube, follow up on a call, get a new coaching client, book a speaking engagement. I always have a big list, a big ambitious list. But I was thinking about disruption last night when I couldn't sleep and I was thinking about my book and so many things because as a creator, I'm always, what else? And what did I miss? And I'm thinking about all those pieces. But I was thinking about disruption. And I was like, first of all, I'm always curious when my listeners share with me their stories. I love your stories. I love listening. I love listening for what you learned, for how you're using it for good, even the hard stuff. And so last night I was thinking about disruption. What is a disruption in life? And, I can't say it enough. There's so many disruptions, from small to large, from a morning that throws you off track due to a sick dog or a child or getting up late, whatever it is that can throw off your whole day, a negative email. But there's major disruptions like a takeover in your company, a layoff after 20 plus years with a company, filing bankruptcy, starting a business that you think everyone will love as much as you do. I always feel that about every business I've been part of. Is easy for me to sell or promote because I truly love them. I can't just be like, you're great at sales, you should sell XYZ. And I'm like, I'm not just in sales, I sell what I love. I love the impact of my words to an audience. I love the books I write. I loved we're owning a gym and coaching people and watching them get results or change their self-talk. Um, Disruptions in our relationships, right? Friends leaving us, deciding we don't fit anymore, marriages ending, changes, personal diagnosis, moving, all of those things. And then the literal from floods to fires and hurricanes, so much natural disaster happening all the time. But I was thinking, disruption, right in the word, has that it will disrupt. A disruption disrupts our routine, our schedule, our safe place, our foundation. It disrupts us. And then the second thing that really it does after it disrupts us is it distracts us. It distracts us from our focus of moving forward or the work we're doing or the importance of our relationships. So it distracts you, it disrupts you so that disrupts your pattern, your routine. It distracts you from focus. But for me, what I always love to teach people, what I want you to think about when you think about a disruption, a storm, a change, a challenge, is will you let it define you? Will you be defined by, oh, I lost my job? Oh, my marriage fell apart. Oh, I was diagnosed with this. Oh, I went through this fire. When I was a little girl, we went through a fire. It was actually 11 days after I turned 11. And I think for a long time it defined me. It was how I moved from Illinois to Minnesota. It was how we became homeless as a family unit because we didn't have a place to go and we couldn't stay with my aunt that lived here. And so I think that those disruptions disrupt our routine and they distract us from what's important, from what we care about, but they don't have to define us. And I think that's where choice comes in. I think sometimes people feel like, oh my gosh, Annie, but you don't know. I have been through X, Y, or Z. And I always just say, yes, I acknowledge that. I acknowledge your sadness about that. I acknowledge you're on your own journey, and it may take you a different amount of time than it would take someone else to heal from that or to move on from that, even if you're not healed, but you still don't have to let it define you. It's like reading a book. It's one of the chapters, it's part of the chapter, but it's not the whole story. So your disruptions in life are a piece of you, but they are not all of you. And when we get consumed by the pain, by a loss inside of those disruptions, it starts to define us. And not just define who we are, but define how we show up. Define whether we show up as engaging and kind and hopeful and happy, or whether we show up as distrusting and negative and bitter and the world got me and I'm out to get them. And it changes us. And when we go into that place to let the darkest days of our life define who we are and how we're going to show up, we are never, ever showing up as our best. And Be the Exception, my second book that came out, was really about that. It was about breaking the cycles, rewriting the stories, making not where we come from or what we go through define who we become, but instead letting it be a part and then rewriting the stories that no longer serve us. will choose to soar. My newest book, my 8th book that just came out, it's kind of about that too. It's about the journey that life is going to happen. There's going to be disruptions, but how you navigate through those, whether they are personal or professional, or sometimes at the same time, both. We're going through a professional and a personal disruption at the same time. And how we decide to say, hey, I'm going to stay hopeful. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to take care of myself so I can care for others. I'm going to find humor in it. I'm going to laugh. I laugh at myself every day. I started my day with lots of laughter because I make the wrong phone calls or I say the wrong things. But when I laugh at myself, it gives other people permission to laugh at me and with me. I love to show people how to take silly selfies. And before I know it, it's one of my most joyful parts of my presentation for me is I will look around the room and everyone is laughing. Instead of critiquing themselves and editing themselves, they're laughing, not in a judgmental way, but in this playful, like, I'm kind of goofy and messy, and so are you. And when we embrace our messiness in the midst of our disruptions, in the midst of life, in the midst of change, it actually sets us free to go live more fully and more joyfully, knowing that it will not be perfect, that done is better than perfect. And that if you look anytime at me in person or me online, you will find messy, complicated, misspelled parts. And if that's what you're looking for, you'll find. But if you look toward me or toward yourself and look for the hopeful and the healthy and the happy and figure out what's good about you, well, when you see it in yourself, that's how the rest of the world can see it in you too. And so I just wanted to jump on here this Friday and say my encouragement, my hope for you is knowing there are going to be disruptions every single day. My dog is sick right now. He's got a cone on. He scratched his eye really bad. And I can't allow that to stop me from working on getting book signings or getting books out there or booking speaking engagements. I will hold him in my arms as I type with one hand. I will get up at 4 a.m. and restructure that PowerPoint to make sure that when I come to your organization, that it is brilliant, that it is impactful in a positive way, and that it is not about me, but it is about pouring into people that are stuck in their circumstances, that feel like they're sinking and swimming, and that I can show them a path of how they can soar above it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not going to say it's going to be smooth, but what I will say is there is a choice to soar above the most challenging circumstances. And when you make that choice to be better instead of bitter, you will find joy. You will find joy in yourself and in your life, but you also spread joy to those around you. And so that is my encouragement to you this Friday afternoon is there will be disruptions this weekend. Don't let them disrupt your happiness. Don't let them distract you from what's important. And please, please don't let them define you because you are so much more than the disruptions, the challenges, and the changes in your life. I'm Annie Meehan, keynote speaker, award-winning author, and Minnesota Hall of Fame speaker. And I would love to work with you and to inspire you and your organizations to navigate with hope through the disruptions and the changes. Take care and have a wonderful weekend.